Minecraft, we're taking a look at the mobs of the Nether, the new mobs that are available in the game, kind of giving detailed information about each of them and some like neat little facts. So first up, we have the Piglins. These have 8 hearts worth of health. They are hostile as an adult, neutral as an adult if the player wears gold armor, and the babies are passive to a degree. So they're interesting creatures, and they have a certain affinity for gold. So you can actually give them gold, and it distracts them. You can give them any type of gold, and they totally kind of, get lost in the moment and the luster of the gold for a set period of time. So it's actually kind of a very good benefit to give them a piece of gold, because it does, distract them, or to have gold on you so that you can distract them when you are going around in the Nether, which is kind of neat. So they spawn in groups of 4, and you can find them in Crimson Forests, Bastions, and Nether Wastes. 5% spawn rate as babies, and they do not despawn in Peaceful. So adults have an 8.5% chance of dropping their held item, either a golden sword or a crossbow, as you're seeing right there. Each looting tier increases this chance by 1%. Babies always spawn without anything, and a picked item always drops without changing the durability. So you notice we can't give this guy the gold, but we can go and give the gold to this other one. And he's totally lost it. So piglins cannot swim. They drown if they're submerged. They are naturally immune to fire or lava. Oh wow, thank you so much. You dropped me dropped me some blocks. That's very nice of it. So yeah, they're kind of interesting. The adults obviously being hostile. So another neat aspect of them is iron golems will attack both adult and baby piglins. Adults do not attack an iron golem unless it attacks first, so that's kind of interesting. And you can get them to stop attacking you, and there's a bargaining aspect to it too. And yeah, you kind of just saw that being played out to a degree, which I thought was kind of interesting. There's even a neat little factoid that there's a 10% of them, or 10% chance of them dancing if they defeat a Hoglin. So that's kind of neat. So we're seeing the zombification version right here in front of me. So when in the overworld or the end, piglins transform into zombified piglins after 15 seconds, retaining their armor and held items. However, they cannot shoot a crossbow and will only melee players. So that's kind of neat. So I hope you found that interesting. We're going to now switch over to another mob to kind of talk about that. But yeah, kind of a neat creature, a good evolution for something in the Nether, and I think it's kind of fun that they got like these little, quirks to them, and I hope you found this little bit of information interesting, at least for the character and what they present. Oh, there's a ghast is just going right through the lava. They do that sometimes. This is the Hoglin. So this is a great food source within the Nether. They're basically giant, massive pigs. They have 20 hearts of health. And yeah, so drops. They give you 2 to 4 raw pork chops. If there is lava or a burning nearby in effect, that will give you a cooked pork chop, as is expected, which is with regular pigs. The maximum amount is increased by 1 per level of looting, for a maximum of 7 with looting 3. You can also get a chance of 0 to 2 leather, and of course that is increased up to a level of 5 with 1 per level. And you get 5 experience if killed by a player or a tamed wolf. Baby Hoglins drop only experience. So these are interesting. They avoid warped fungus, kind of like a creeper would. They don't like it, so you can kind of use that to either control them or ward them off. And you can also put the the fungus in a flower pot if you want to. They will naturally sink in water and eventually drown. So they can be leashed despite the fact that they are hostile creatures. So that's kind of interesting. Lead. That's a neat little aspect of it. So you can actually leash them. So that's kind of cool. And they have other cool things. So their hostility, they attack any player within 32 blocks and hit about 2 blocks away. So they're kind of a little bit deadly. There's also Hoglins. So If a Hoglin spawns in or moves to the overworld, or in the end, it shakes and turns into a Zoglin after 15 seconds. Any lead attached with the Hoglin breaks when it is converted. It is kind of neat that you can lead them, because you can kind of use them as a, a food source here, right? So breeding, they can be bred with the crimson fungi. So that would be this fungi. And then you'll get a little one. It takes 5 minutes before the parents can be bred again, and 20 minutes for baby Hoglins to mature. They stay near their parents. Where is the little thing? There it is. Stay near their parents unless they see a player get attacked, or they get attacked. So if you feed it, it reduces 10% remaining time for its maturity. So 10% increase there. And they cannot be bred when they are running away from more fungi, respawn anchors, or nether portals. So they can obviously be farmed, which is very helpful for these types of creatures. In the nether you don't really have much of a food source despite what you bring in, seeing that you get the pork chop there. So kind of a useful mob in the game, definitely something unique. And I hope you found that a little bit interesting for some details on this particular mob within the game of Minecraft in the Nether. Alright, we've got one last mob to take a look at, and that is the Strider. So this is sort of a very creepy looking thing. It likes to be in the lava, otherwise it turns a weird sickly type of color. So they have 10 blocks of health in Java and 7.5 blocks, well, hearts of health in Bedrock. So that's kind of interesting. They're passive mobs. They spawn in the nether on lava seas. They can walk on lava, and they can be saddled. So that's kind of cool. We're going to quickly show that off here so we can throw a saddle on them. We can sit on top of them, but they'll do their own thing unless you get warped fungus on a stick. And then kind of like pigs, they'll lead you, well, they'll go wherever you have the stick pointing. So that's kind of a neat way to travel across the lava, and it kind of makes a big deal in the game in regards to kind of changing how we move within the lava. Is the thing following us? That's adorable. So, yeah, spawning-wise, we kind of talked about that. You might find, a baby Strider riding on a adult, so you might find zombified Piglin riding. So, moving past that, they are different than other mobs, obviously, because they can walk on lava, and they have like a sort of speed effect. It's kind of nice just being taken for a ride with this thing. It's a nice, peaceful time. So that's kind of funny. We are going to talk about not the riding, but the breeding and stuff like that. So they can be given a warped fungus, and they give little baby Striders granting the players 1 to 7 experience orbs. So we're going to get off of that guy right now and spawn 2 of these things, and we're going to give them the warped fungus. Really, you're jumping on that thing? Oh, jeez. There we go, and then we get a little tiny Strider. So they've got a little family there. They have to have a 5-minute cooldown before breeding again. Babies obtained through breeding take 20 minutes to grow up. It can be accelerated using the warped fungus, which takes 10% time off every time you do that. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, they're all looking at me because I got the fungus out. Kind of an interesting thing. And yeah, they're damaged by water and rain. That's an interesting fact. Yeah, that's about it for them. They're not too in-depth in what they do. They do have, interesting aspects to them. They're very helpful, obviously, for crossing lava and stuff. But I think that's about it for them, aside from saying they spawn in Nether Waste, Crimson Forest, Warped Forest, Soul Sand Valley, and the Basalt Deltas. So that's these friendly creatures, and I hope you enjoyed this look at a number of the neat mobs that are available within the Minecraft Nether update for the game. So that's kind of cool. Oh, and you can lead them too if you want to lead them. Spin it around. Very useful things. Definitely like the horse of the Nether, and they're just weird looking.